but it was something else that didn't want me to go that route. So I wanted to, like I want to prove him wrong. So every scriptures he took out, it was all in English, but when he explained it, and I read it in Aramaic, it was like Pastor Dowell was speaking to me in my own language. No, it was in the war of Iran and Iraq. Was beginning of the 80s.
Okay.
I'm born 1980.
Okay.
And just a couple of years after the war breakout, Iran and Iraq, my parents, they moved as refugees to Sweden.
Okay.
And I was like 3 years old, something like that.
Okay.
So you grew up your whole life in Sweden.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So, but your parents were originally from?
They're Assyrians born in Iran.
Iran. Okay.
Iran.
Is that where Assyrian?
No, we got like Assyrians in Iraq, in Iran, Syria, Lebanon.
Okay.
I mean, because when the Assyrian Empire fell, the Assyrians who lived in Iraq, they stayed in Iraq. The Assyrians who lived in Iran stayed in Iran, and Syria, they stayed in Syria, Lebanon. We got some Assyrians in Turkey, and so on, so on. So,
Okay.
so we scattered out of all in the so-called Middle East.
Middle East. Okay.
Yes, sir.
So you grew up in Sweden. What was your religious upbringing growing up from? I know that your guys' schooling is different. Your college is called high school, but before high school, or before what we call college. But what was it from birth to 18? When you're 18, what was your childhood life, and how did God play a part in that, if He did or didn't?
Yes, sir. No, it was a Christian upbringing. All Assyrians are Christians. Like almost 70% of all Assyrians are Christian Orthodox, belong to the East Assyrian Church. It's an Orthodox church. Then you got maybe 25% that are Catholics, and you got the rest of it like Seventh Adventist and other free churches and so on. But all Assyrians are Christians.
Okay.
Yeah.
No Muslims or
No Muslims.
Okay.
There's no Assyrians that are Muslims.
Okay.
No, sir.
So you grew up in that type of environment. How big was religion or worshiping God or Jesus as a Christian was to you when you left off to after 18 or went on to? I'm assuming you went off to adulthood.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It's it's actually a center of the Assyrian identity, because the Assyrians were one of the first who became followers of Messiah, and the Assyrian language we call them Mashiachaya, and that's where also the word Christian comes from, followers of Messiah.
You guys use the word Christian in your language?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir, we do. But that word is a translation from the Roman, Greco-Roman, to Aramaic, to Assyrian language. But in the Assyrian language, we say Mashiachaya. But there are people, if you ask Assyrian people, what kind of religion do you belong to? They will say Christiane. Christiane comes from the Greco-Roman word Christian, or English word. It's an English word, Christian. So it's just a translation.
It's just a translation. But the word that you guys will use is what again?
Mashiach.
Mishiach. And how would you translate that in English? What would be?
That would be followers of Messiah.
Okay.
Messiah.
So you speak? Do you speak those? Do you speak the Aramaic fluently? Do you speak that language? And
Yes, sir. That's my native language.
That's your native language.
Yeah, I speak. I read it,
Okay.
and I speak. And it's the language they spoke in Jesus' time,
Mhm.
and the language I speak hasn't changed since the time of Nebuchadnezzar.
Okay.
do
So
you guys speak English in your country too? And how in Sweden? They speak English?
yes, we do, but only in school or in work when it's required for you to speak. But we speak Swedish.
Okay, Swedish. Okay, and Swedish is different from Aramaic, or is
Oh, it's a big difference.
it's a big difference. So you speak how many different languages then?
Fluently, I speak 3 languages.
3 languages.
Yes, sir.
Can you state the 3 languages you speak?
It's Assyrian, one of the Aramaic dialects. It's Assyrian, and it's Swedish, and it's English.
English. Okay.
Wow, that's very, very, very well rounded. So okay, so now, so from the time you left 18, tell me what life was like. I mean, how old are you now?
I'm almost 38.
To 38. So from 18 to 38, in between that, you know, I know you have a wife, you have a child now, you're newly fathered. What was life like before Straightway? So I'm just trying to get a feel for what was your life like. What part did God play in that? If He didn't or did, what? I mean, I know you said that's part of your identity, but how was that in your adult life? No longer underneath your parents' authority, or I mean, you're your own man now. What was life like?
Oh, I was a straight up heathen.
Okay.
Like I was a wild man. I was into party, a lot of friends, very popular in the surroundings I were in. So it was always like I knew like most of the Assyrian, they know they're Christian and they should follow Messiah, but it's only in words. It's only in words, nothing else. So I knew of Jesus, I knew of God, but I didn't know Him. So my lifestyle was like everyone else that is a Christian heathen. We celebrated Christmas, we celebrated Easter. When we went to church, when my mother took us to church, it was on Sunday. So just a normal Christian upbringing.
Just historically speaking, if they did the Sabbath, wouldn't they have known about the Sabbath? What changed it from the seventh day to the first day?
No,
You know the history of that one?
they know the Sabbath.
They do?
Because the days in my language is first day, second day, third day, fourth day, fifth day, sixth day, and Sabbath.
Oh, you guys that's how you call it.
That's how we call it. So you can't. There's no mistaken. There's no like. You won't get confused in it.
So you guys went to church on first day,
Yeah.
even though.
The Sabbath is the last day.
Wow. So that's how you speak.
That's how I speak. Even the name Sabbath comes from the number 7 in our language. So it is the last day.
Okay.
Did you ever think to yourself like, hey, remember the Sabbath? I mean, I don't know if you knew that growing up, but why were we going to church on the first day? Did you ever?
Nothing. That didn't even speak about it. Like I know the priests, our priest knows about it. And when you ask them, they are gonna give you this that Jesus rose up on first day, so that's the day of the Christians, and so on and so on.
So it's in your faith in your culture, you guys are living the same culture that they did in the Bible, in what you read in the Bible. So you guys, I mean, to us it's hidden because it's Monday, Tuesday, Saturday, but you guys call it first, second, third, Sabbath,
Yes,
first
sir.
day.
Yes,
Wow.
sir.
So when you go to church, you don't call it Sunday, you go to church on first day.
Yes, sir.
Wow. That's amazing. That's amazing. So, okay, so you were a heathen. Did you meet your wife in that time during well, how long have you been married?
Been married now in 6 years.
6 years. Was she a heathen, or was she a little bit more in the faith, or what's your wife's background? Just a little bit, just to kind
She was heathen Christian too.
Okay.
And she went to the church more than I did. I didn't go to church only like in Christmas
Okay.
or Easter.
So they call you a creaster. They call them creasters. You know, Christmas and Easter. So that's the only time
Yes,
you went there.
sir.
Okay, so
Exactly.
you would be what they call a creaster.
Yes, sir. I could be put in that
Okay,
category.
that category.
Absolutely.
Okay. So is your wife Assyrian? What is your wife? I mean, people assume that, but I think your wife is different, right?
Yeah,
What is she?
my wife is from Syria. She's born in Sweden,
Okay.
but her father is Assyrian, and her mother is a Christian Arab from
Arab.
Syria.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
So now you're growing up. You're a heathen. You have a wife. Obviously, just doing the typical thing. Just now, when you got married, did that change your lifestyle a little bit? Were you still partying and just living life, or did it change? Like, okay, I'm a husband. I don't know. Usually, when people get married, they kind of settle down. Was being married settle you down, and what did that life look like? Married life before Straight Wave? Just
No, I did settle down, and both me and my wife we settled down. But still, we were Christian. I mean, we were Christian but pagan,
Okay.
heathen.
Okay.
So we did go out. We ate pig. We celebrated Christmas. We did go out and party.
so even the Syrians. Now you would have known about pigs, right? I mean, that's part of your culture, or that's not? I mean, is that foreign? Is that because even in the Middle East, Muslims don't eat pork, and so as Assyrians, did they just eat pork? I mean, I'm assuming that wasn't always part of the culture. And do you know the history of how that came into play?
Yes, sir.
You're absolutely right about it. It's not a part of our culture.
Okay.
We don't eat pig.
Okay.
But the thing is, when being influenced by this European mindset and being raised up in Europe and in Sweden, and a lot of like maybe more than 90% of all Assyrians, Christians, they eat pig now. So like I know my grandparents, they didn't eat pig. My father was a Christian heathen. He didn't eat pig. Yeah, but my mother has always told us that pig is it's not clean for you. We don't eat that. But when we ate it, she didn't forbid it. So it was like, yeah, I'm gonna go get me a kebab or whatever, pizza and ham and so on. So I mean, I ate egg and bacon like almost every second day.
Okay.
So it was like normal for us.
Okay.
So it wasn't part of your culture, but it crept in through the Europe culture, the
Yes,
European,
sir.
the Western culture. Okay.
Yes, sir.
So now, and you said your wife went to church more than you did, right? She was was she a regular, or did she go every day? I mean, every week, or did she just kind of just go more than you? Like how would you describe her? How often she went?
She wasn't a regular like that, but she went more often than I did. Absolutely. I mean, I went only to those days that was, like I said, Christmas and Easter. And the last couple of years, I didn't even go to those holidays.
So when I listen to you, Brother Reimond, I mean, I'm just thinking like, man, you grew up, man. I mean, I have dreams of like you talk the language that Jesus spoke. I mean, you know the culture. I mean, that's just part of your culture. I mean, somebody like me, like, man. And so, what was it that made you not wanna at that time, like wanna? I mean, you went to heathen, right? Why didn't you, continue? And you say all Assyrians are Christians. I mean, that's part of my identity. Why? What was it that kept you? What made you, be distanced from it and just go the heathen route and not go with that?
Well, the thing is that many Christians, they believe, but like I said, only in speech. Like majority of Assyrians don't even know how to read their own language, so they don't study the Bible. And if they study the Bible, it's either in English or Swedish or another language or Arabic or whatever it can be. And they never get into deeply study. They just read what the priest have told them to read, and that's it. So they have the concept of Christianity in them. There is no concept of the scripture in them, of the truth. There's nothing like that. So even if they know the language, they don't study the language. They don't even study their own history. They don't even study their kind of language, how it evolved to what it was and what it is now. Because like I said, that our language haven't changed since the time of Jesus Messiah. But not many Assyrians know that. They just and many Assyrians like don't even speak clear Assyrian. They get like other languages in the Assyrian language. They put in like they mix in Persian, they mix in Arabic, Kurdish, Turkish, and so on. So many Assyrians they know how to read and write, but not their own language.
So, okay, so this is good. You got a rich history. Then all of a sudden, how did you come in? I mean, now you are in Sweden. We are right now currently in Tennessee, Lafayette, Tennessee, in the middle of nowhere in the United States of America, and you are here. You know, you can see the pulpit behind you, where you got we have our great shepherd, Pastor Dowell, preached at that pulpit behind you. How did you come in contact with Pastor Dowell, Straightway Truth Ministry, all the way in Sweden, with your background, just knowing the language? Can you please tell us how you came in contact, coming from a heathen, and how did that all happen?
Well, I was like since I became 31 years old, like after 30 years, I started to look for the truth. I didn't know what the truth was. I knew that the financial system was something wrong with it. I knew how the politics worked, all the wars and this ongoing politics and so on. There was something funky about it. I couldn't put my finger on it. So I started to look at many like so-called conspiracy theories on YouTube. But I didn't get it. It was like, wow, man, what is this? This like bull. So I didn't get into it so much. But one day I was sitting at YouTube just randomly surfing, and I saw a video of flat Earth. And I thought for me, what is that? What is that? What kind of joke is this? Like I've been seeing all these conspiracy theory videos and so that the aliens and so on and so on. I thought that's ridiculous. So I saw this. I'm saying, this is ridiculous too. So I'm gonna get me a laugh. So I just started the video, started to watch, and that actually held me several months. I was watching flat Earth videos several months. So after maybe 2-3 months, I saw a recommendation on the side of the YouTube, and it was Pastor Dowell. So I clicked on that video, and he was talking. I don't exactly remember what kind of video it was, but it was something about politics and economic and something about money and so on. And I saw he had an own channel, Pastor Dowell. So I clicked on it, and I saw that he has further channels, and he got a ministry, and he preached. And I thought for myself, this is another one of these Christian preachers. He's gonna lure people into giving him money and so on, and just want to steal people's money, like all churches does. Even our churches does that. Make you feel guilty not giving money. But anyway, so I went in and I saw one of his sermons, and I saw 2 tables of Hebrew letters of the 10 Commandments on each side. And I said, what kind of church is this? What kind of assembly is this? And he's mentioning Jesus and Messiah, but he has these Hebrew letters. And I saw on the assembly, the women were covered. They covered their hair. And they covered their head. And I said, what are they Messianics or are they Jewish or what are they? I didn't understand that. So I looked for maybe, but I still looked. It went like 30, 40 minutes. There was something keeping me there. I knew, I didn't know what it was, but something just, after 30, 40 minutes, I didn't understand what it was. So I clicked it away. I shut it down. And I got back on my flat earth videos and just was looking at it. I didn't understand it. It was like, a lot of it made sense, but still, what is this, flat earth? And so, didn't get it. And after maybe 3-4 months, again, I saw a video of Pastor Dowell. So I went in, and he was talking about currency and so on. And I went into his channel again, and to his channel on YouTube, and I saw this channel again of his ministry of Straightway Truth, and I went in there and I started to watch one of his sermons, one of his service, and I was just watching and watching, and I said for myself, this guy, he's talking about Jesus, and he uses this broken Hebrew, because I mean, if he spoke Hebrew, even these Hebrews that speak Hebrew nowadays, isn't the Hebrew they spoke at the time of Jesus Messiah? Because I would have understand. I can have a conversation with those people, but these people who live in Israel or whatever it is, I don't understand them. They don't speak like it's another dialect of Aramaic. Hebrew is another dialect of Aramaic. So I speak in Assyrian, is another dialect of Aramaic. I could have a conversation with them, but with these people, I don't understand them. So I started to thinking like that in my head. Like, this guy, he doesn't know anything. He thinks he knows anything, and so on and so on. And I started to, like, I said for myself, I know Aramaic. I know Jesus. I've been in church. I mean, my mother, she took us church till we were like 15, 16. Okay. And then she stopped. Okay. She like basically told us that if you want to go, you go. If you don't want to, that's up to you. Was
your dad involved? Did your dad go to church, or?
My dad was involved. He went to church every first day. Okay. Every Sunday he was in church. So he always told me, my son, start read the Bible, start come to the church, and so on and so on. But I didn't do it. So there wasn't something that drew me. I knew Jesus and God, and whenever I had a problem or something came up in my life, yeah, I prayed. Wasn't that I didn't pray. I prayed for Jesus. I prayed for God that He would take me out from that situation. He would save me and so on. But I didn't know Him. I know of Him, but I did not know Him. So, yeah.
But you're talking about you're talking about Pastor Dowell.
Yeah,
okay. So his language,
exactly. Yes, sir. Yeah, and I said for myself, this guy, he's just like another pastor. I'd never been interested in looking at pastors or telling someone you're wrong or you're right. I don't know what it was. It was something in me that said, it makes sense, but still it doesn't. Just look into it. Just look into it. So I started to look into it. I took up my Bible, Aramaic Bible.
Now, when you took out your Aramaic Bible, how often did you ever open that up?
Never.
Regular? Never. Wow. Okay.
I know how to read Aramaic, but I haven't studied the Bible. I never read the Bible. I never studied the Bible. What my father told me about the Bible and the times when growing up when we went to the church, that's the only thing I knew about Jesus and God and the Bible, the scriptures and so on. Me, myself, I didn't had that interest. I didn't have that drive in me. But this time I had something like, this person that is talking to having this sermon, I have to prove him wrong. Because it was something in me, drawing me, but it was something else that didn't want me to go that route. So I wanted to, I want to prove him wrong. So every scriptures he took out, it was all in English, but when he explained it, and I read it in Aramaic, it was like Pastor Dowell was speaking to me in my own language, in Aramaic. So if you know the history of Egyptians, how they look, you're gonna know how the Israelites look like, because I can look when I've been changed. My Assyrians have been intermingled with other nations, so my color is like this. If Jesus Messiah had this color and looked like me, and I went into Egypt and tried to hide myself, they would say, there's that guy. They are Joseph.